What's up guys? In this video we're going over your front plank posture positioning. So we're going to look at your shoulders, your hips, and your neck, and what kind of positioning you're going to need to get in so that you can have the right muscles firing through your front plank. So starting with our shoulder posture, you'll see I'm trying to find a nice neutral here while I'm digging into the ground, really trying to get rooted. And what I'm doing here is I'm pushing out, and it's like I'm spreading my shoulder blades far apart, like I'm really pushing through the floor. And then I'm pinching them close as I can together, and by doing this I'm finding my end range, like where I pinch to where I push. That way I can find my neutral somewhere right in the middle. So once I find my neutral from that position, I'm getting a nice engagement in my lats. So my lats right here, I'm keeping down, almost like I'm pulling my elbows towards my hips, and that's your upper body posture. That's going to help you stay connected through your plank. Now moving down into our hips, the most important part is we're just looking at the bottom of our plank and seeing if we can hit a nice straight line through the bottom of our plank, like all the way down our chest to our stomach. We want that as flat as we can. So for most of us, we're gonna have a hard time, like we're gonna have this little V that hikes up at our hips, and that's because our hip flexors are tight. So to start off, we might end up having to stretch a lot before we can hit this position. But for some of us also, we're gonna have an anterior tilt, which means our butt is sticking up in the air, and it's gonna leave us with an arch in our lower back. So in order to keep this flat line, we're gonna tuck our tailbone underneath, and by shifting our hips in this position, it's gonna help us to get to a nice neutral and a little closer to flat. And what that does is it's going to get our lower abdominals engaged to the posture, which is really important because we want to feel a good connection from where our forearms are hitting the ground all the way into where our feet are connecting to the mat. So a lot of us, once we get thrown into our tilt with our butt shooting out, we'll lose the connection through our lower abdominals. So we're getting the tilt so we can rebuild that connection there. And last thing, moving up to our chin posture. So you can see I'm looking right in between my hands or at the top of my mat, so slightly up, keeping a little chin tuck, and that flat line right there, that's going to be it. That's our front plank. Again, I know there's a couple pieces involved in this, but as best you can, mess with your shoulder loading, find that neutral, let's get your hip positioning right, and then go hit those front planks.